I'm the daughter of Mexican immigrants, so my parents came to the United States in the mid-1970s. They were fortunate that they were eventually able to legalize their status, which is what we're sort of aiming for in immigration reform. And I think I'm a good example of why. My father had a third-grade education. He worked in a factory for most of my life, and yet he was able to have a successful sort of, family and experience in the United States where all of his daughters are professionals. And I always tell my students it's, I think, a mark of the fact that the American dream can and does exist. My father had a third-grade education and I have a PhD. I think that kind of promise is something that we should aim for, and why I'm committed to immigration reform. I do think that there's a lot of incentive to pass immigration reform. So I think there's a good chance that we finally will. And I think that the kinds of conversations that are happening are part of that sort of promise. And so the kind of discussions that the labor movement is having with business leaders and also with immigrant advocates, so organizations on the community level, I think that kind of interaction shows the kind of promise, the momentum to actually have this legislation pass and to make sure that it's legislation that takes into consideration all of those that are sort of concerned, right? So whether it's business, whether it's labor, or whether it's these sort of groups concerned about questions of citizenship and in immigrants' sort of everyday lives.